night, as everybody hears. Good night. Hey. That was close.
That's very close.
Yeah, I for a brief moment I was like, oh, I forgot to mute my mic, and then I was like, oh, let's go
It's
for it.
fine.
Elena's getting to be a real ham with a microphone. Like, she sees me talking on it all the time, and now, like, whenever I give her the mic, she just like hams it up. It's cute.
She's learning content early.
I know, which is like a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, I sent you the thing. I just finished up.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So we have those numbers and percentage with color combinations to go with it. Because, as everybody knows, we are incredibly professional. Hello, everybody. It is Monday night.
It's Monday night. And we're here to talk Lorcana. Yeah, I was telling some of our guests, or I was telling Michelle earlier, and I tell this to guests every week, like, the benefit of doing this on a Monday night is you get to get all the news like fresh off the weekend. But the downside is, like, we don't know what the show is going to be in general until like Sunday evening. And so then Sunday evening and Monday is like, panic prep the show. So
sometimes we don't even know Sunday evening. Sometimes it's 45 minutes before we hit the go live button, and somehow we still make it work.
That's true. For sure. I'm going to change this theme here. Yep. That's so much nicer. Anyway, yeah. Welcome everyone to our Monday Night Show. We have a great show this evening, a real packed show. Many guests coming in that we're going to rotate through because there was a ton of Lorcanas that happened this weekend all over the world. Multiple people qualifying for Continentals and some other smaller tournaments. And so we're going to rotate through a lot of guests, have a lot of fun, and also going to do a giveaway.
All of the fun things. I mean, so it's very surprising that we just kind of had this very long, I guess you could say, dry spell where we didn't have a lot of big events going on.
Oh.
We were kind of getting at the end of Whisper's format. It really feels like after Richmond, there wasn't a ton that we were incredibly excited for. And then all of a sudden this weekend, I mean, just an explosion of activity. Yeah. I mean, I personally over the weekend had 4 different events queued up that I was paying attention to and watching. And that's kind of unnatural for me. I tend to not watch a lot of tournaments as they go on. But I just found myself so starved for tournament content that as soon as, we had Baker streaming a CCQ, we had JDZ streaming the DLC. We had multiple other CCQs going on. I know the encounter happened at the Forbidden Mountains shop. Yeah. That was another big one.
Yeah. And then I streamed our 29-person tournament down in Florida.
Yeah.
Gaming.
So it was just all kind, like, Winterspell opening weekend was pretty successful.
Yeah, I agree. And it felt good to get back to competitive play, and it also felt really good because we've had about 3-4 weeks now where we've been speculating on what the meta will be and ranking decks and ranking cards, and so this felt like the first weekend where I could really see where we could really see what the meta was going to shake out to be and get some hints about how everything stacked up. So it was a lot of fun to see some of our assumptions validated and some of them, like, I don't know, kind of disproven.
There's one, I'm not gonna lie, there's one that's kind of surprised all of us, and is the new Sapphire Pete. Not a whole lot of him anywhere.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about that. Sapphire Pete. I do want to, we are going to get bring in some guests here in a few moments. Before we go too long, because I do want to ask you more about your week and all that before we get into our guests. But I do want to mention the giveaway right up front, just because I know some folks are here they're here because they love Lorcana and they love us, but some folks are here to win a playmat. So I'll mention it right up front. We are gonna give away one of these playmats tonight. A good buddy Splinks is another great streamer and collector. Hooked me up with 2. Well, we made a trade and I got an extra one of these because we wanted to run our own giveaway. And like sponsored by us, because we hit 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, and then it went down to $6.99 again, and then it went 7,000, and then it was 7,001, and then it went to $6.99 again. But now it's back at 7,000, and I think even 7,001. So it feels like a good time to thank the community by doing a fun giveaway. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna run this the same way that we have other giveaways in the past. In a minute here, I'm gonna post a link to the form you can fill out. You fill out the form this evening, and at the end, we'll draw a name from all the people who filled it out. The one thing I'm going to note, the one caveat is you have to be here to win. I know that seems self-serving, but again, we do that so that people can't blast the link out, on Twitter, and we get like a million entries and all that. So just hang out. If you want to leave and come back, you can. You just got to time it right. So here's the link to the form, and I'll post it again throughout the show. If you're watching on Twitter, the link doesn't go out there in the chat. I have to go out there and do it myself. It's a whole big thing. So if you jump on one of the other platforms, you can get the link a lot easier. But I'll try to do that as well. Anyway, so you have the whole show, and we'll draw it near the end, and we'll give that away. So
if you haven't seen the playmats, they are fantastic.
They're very cool. They're very cool. It's the first stitch edges I think we have on a Lorcana playmat. So anyway, OG, you're asking, OG Viper asked, for your metrics, do you guys prefer us to watch which one? I honestly don't mind. Twitch or YouTube are probably the best. Doesn't matter to me. I feel like Twitch chat's more fun, question mark? I don't know. But
Twitch chat's more fun, but it's more difficult to see like giveaway links and things like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know. It's a double-edged sword. Yeah. All the numbers across platforms, we kind of get to compile all that together. So it doesn't necessarily matter which one you watch on. It's as long as you're here.
Yeah. Yeah. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So anyway, I want to get that out of the way early. But Logan, before we get into more of this week's going on, how was your week in Lorcana?
Oh man, it's I feel like it's just kind of mirroring what I was saying last week. Maelstrom is really heavy in testing mode. I know Sailor, Sky, Wonder, me, and Kurt are all going to be at Ink this weekend. So all of us have been, just nose to the grindstone, man. Just trying to figure out what it is that we're going to be bringing. There are a lot more tech options than I might like going into an event. Winterspell brought in a lot of interesting cards and a few that really you wouldn't think would make the cut or would be a highlight, or some cards that have come in causing older ones to become more relevant, or something that you need to like just have in the back of your mind. I don't know. It's a really good time in testing when RMB himself was like, this is the healthiest the game has felt in like 3 sets.
Yeah, it is. What's fun about it to me is there's a heavy element of like unknown. I don't know. It just still feels like there's some things to be cracked and solved. You see things, even things like you see this location deck pop up in Melbourne, and you're like, okay, wait a second, is that a one-off? Is that competitively viable? Like, are we going to actually see more of those? And how does that change things? And I don't know. So compared to previous sets, other than Blurble being basically the same, it feels like there's a lot more to explore here. I don't know.
So even dogs, like you would imagine that when you see a dogs list, you might think, okay, well, there's maybe like 3 or 4 cards different. But if you look across a lot of the dogs lists from this past weekend, there are a lot of different looking lists. Now, granted, it's swapping out some old cards for some new ones, but there's some few new cards that are just becoming staples. Some didn't run them at all and was still doing well. Some was leaning really heavy into Chromacon. Some were really leaning heavy into Under the Sea plans. But there's just more ways to build the deck that just has more threats that you have to pay attention to.
Yeah. I was struck by the same thing. I was looking through, last night I had a stream where I was looking through Melbourne, and I don't know, I looked at 5 different dogs decks in a row, and they were all, not very, very different, but well, some of them are actually very different.
Yeah, there's a few that are actually very different.
Yeah.
Like you look at it and you're just like, okay, like there's there's variety going on here. And there's the same way in Amethyst Steel. We're now at a point where there's a lot of options in Amethyst Steel that you really have to pay attention to.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I don't know. It's just been really fun. It's been really fun to see, and I don't know. I can't wait to talk more about it. And what's really, really fun is I actually really can't wait for Ink because now that this data is out there and people have seen stuff, I don't know. I'm really keen to see how that manifests itself for this next CCQ. Because if you aren't paying attention to Ink this weekend, you should be. Get it on your calendar. If you're not going, make sure you watch. There's an outstanding casting team and also some incredible players. And Logan, you were telling me that they upped their prize pool because they hit their player target.
Speaking of, yeah, so we just hit. Oh man, let me go to their announcements page because they just said that. Thanks for everybody. We wanted to formally announce the increase the guaranteed pool to the main event to 6,500, up from 5,000.
Nice. I mean, that's a decent jump.
And I believe it's because we got enough entrants for it. I don't know what the exact number is because he didn't post the exact number, but that does mean that they hit their first target goal for attendance. So if you're around Ink and you haven't already signed up or dedicated your weekend, even if you don't want to play, there's a lot of different side events going on. It's just a good community event. There's a lot that you can come do. You don't just have to play competitively. You can come and just hang out. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be some fantastic casters that you can come and talk to that you may not get the chance to see all the time. Like, you have to go to a DLC to see this level of caster talent in some instances. So if you're around, come hang out. That'll be I guess the last plug I get to have for Ink before this weekend. But I'm excited. I've been obviously preparing for the last 3 weeks since we got our very last card reveal for Winterspell. What area of the country is Ink? It is in Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. Sorry, I'm getting a note from the green room. So we're going, Ink. It's gonna be awesome. So Ink is gonna be awesome. Definitely put it on your radar if you can go. Go, but the player pool there is very, very skilled. Not only the people who travel in from around the country, people like yourself, Logan, but also just the DMV area has some incredible folks out there. So so it's gonna be really great. Before we move on, I've got other guests to bring in, but before we do, I want to do a quick check-in from down under and get a report from how things are going down there on the other side of the world. Let's hear from the man himself, the myth, the legend, the solo marathon streamer, JDZ.
Hey, gentlemen. It is good to be here. I don't know if you guys... Hold on. Let me turn it right side up so you guys can see me the right way. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, man. It's good to be here. Thank you guys for allowing me to be a part of this. Liam, Zenless, hopefully you guys enjoyed this weekend. It was a magical and wonderful weekend of Disney Lorcana. I'm at the airport right now. I should be boarding here in a few minutes, but I thought I'd drop by and share some of the stories of what happened here. And I am like over the world impressed with what I saw. I was completely blown away with the Australian community. Like, it is like completely night and day from what I was expecting when I was told that this was something that was possible that could happen. I was prepared for the worst, but I was completely surprised about the amount of love that the players have here and the community that they have here is so tight knit. And it was just a very, very special weekend, man. So I'm excited that I had the opportunity to do this, and I would love to come back and do it again. So cool.
Speaking of, I said I watched a lot of the casting going on this weekend. Watched yours specifically, obviously. It was the DLC, so the biggest event going on all weekend. How are you feeling after your plug of Vegemite that you got to take on stream, man?
Listen, okay, and I'm not kidding. This whole time, and I'm gonna tell this story again, so people will hear this story multiple times because it changed my life forever. Okay, because this entire time, I thought after hearing that song, that's the only experience I had with Vegemite, and I was like, hey, I assume it's like a peanut butter, because why would you eat that on a sandwich? Like, that doesn't make any sense. My mom used to make me a Vegemite sandwich. My mom makes peanut butter sandwich as a breakfast food. I always just assumed it was like a peanut butter style equivalent of something with a different seed or something. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm just gonna eat it like peanut butter. And no, that will ruin my life forever. Do not recommend. I did try it again the right way. Much better. Okay, I gotta say, it was awesome.
But you did it for the content, and that's what we appreciate about you.
Okay, we don't half anything over here. It's full everything, no half anything. So that was a good time. That was a good time.
No, I feel like in your life, JD, nobody has ever accused you of going half anything.
No.
Constantly moving up levels. Well, I have to thank you. Like, I want to ask about your favorite memory from the weekend, and I know you need to board in a second, so we're not going to keep you long. But before
sure.
I ask you that question, I just want to say how much like we and us here in the States appreciate you for bringing us the tournament and serving as kind of an ambassador for our community down there. Really appreciate you. So thanks for everything that you did this weekend for the whole community. Favorite other than the Vegemite, which sounds like it was amazing, and you're gonna now order it on Amazon Australia forever. But
Absolutely.
what was your favorite like memory of the weekend? Favorite moment? Do you have anything that stands out?
It was honestly it was so many different things that occurred this weekend. I have like so many stories, like I can't think of a best one, but just overall I would just say meeting the Australian community in general. And like I said, you guys are shouting me out and I really do appreciate that, but this I am nothing compared to what the TAC Games team did down here, running the DLC. Trent and Kip and his team, and also the co-host Greg, who was there. Because usually, like I said, I can do this. I get stronger as the day goes along, and usually whoever's going to be with me, they're going to be along for the ride. And sometimes they start to falter, but Greg, no, he got stronger as the day went on, to keep me motivated and keep me going. So there are a ton of different stories of what happened this weekend. I can't seem to pick one that just jumps off the page at me, but I would say just seeing everyone perform well, to see the winner, to see Dylan come through there and have a great performance and play so well, and see all of the great players that showed up and performed so well. And it was just an amazing overall experience. Like I cherish it so much. And I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to allow me to be a part of this, coming all the way out here. And the love that I received was just next worldly, man. So I encourage everyone, if you have the opportunity to be here or come to Melbourne, as it's called. It's not Melbourne, okay? It's all my
Melbourne?
American. It's Melbourne, okay? Do not say it the wrong way, or you will get corrected. If next time, I would love to come back here again, and all the if the Australians, I just want them to get their due diligence and their love, man, because they have a great Disney Lorcana culture here, and it's just the beginning of where this game can potentially go, and I'm just excited for it. But yeah, I'll be here for the rest of my life if I start telling all the wonderful stories that happen. I don't want to take too much of your time. I'll miss this flight, but it's just been such a magical weekend, man. That's the only thing I can say about it.
Well, I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate you stopping
Absolutely.
by and saying hello to us. Wonderful job this weekend. You're a treasure, and I don't know. Thanks for everything you do. Have a good flight.
Absolutely, Liam. Zenulus, you guys take care, man. I'll be seeing you guys again, hopefully, this weekend. I know, Zenulus, you're coming out to Ink, man. I can't wait to hang out with you and do that there. And if anybody out there is watching or you find this, come over to Ink because the job's not done, okay? This is Melbourne this weekend. Ink is next weekend, and it's going to keep going. So don't stop. Keep staying motivated. If you want the game to be great, get out there and make it great. And Liam, I'm sure I'll see you around at the Enchanted, the Enchanted Citrus Clash. I know we're going to meet there again, and hopefully we'll be at the DLC between now and then, or Gen Con. I'm sure we'll meet again, and I'll share a big hug, and we can tell these stories face to face.
Absolutely. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Absolutely.
You're the best. Get some sleep. Rest the voice.
Of course, gentlemen. Until then, I love you both.
Thank you, man.
Peace.
What a treasure JD is.
No, seriously. I mean, you just look at anything that he goes to as far as just production side. And I know you've had the privilege of working with him on multiple occasions. I've had the privilege of just being around him, hanging out with him in a few Discords. And when I tell you he is genuinely just himself at all moments of the day, like you are getting the authentic JDZ at every moment of the day. He's not putting it on, I guess would be the way I would say it.
Yeah, totally agree. He's just good people, and it's great. It was great to see him get the opportunity this weekend, and he killed it. And it's wonderful when good things happen to good people. I can't say enough about what he does for us in the community. And yeah, he's great. It feels like, when he came along a few sets into Lorcana, it wasn't long before I think we were asking ourselves, like, where were we before JDZ was around? and there would be a gaping JDZ size hole that rather large that none of us would have realized was there. And so anyway, I love him to death.
No, honestly, I mean, just kind of putting on that point a little bit more. There's very specific feels that different casters bring when they put on, any content of any kind. Baker has a very boisterous attitude, a very showmanship of like a presentation that he brings that's very unique. And JDZ has just that like energy you can't ignore. He's coined phrases that people just use all the time now when playing games. I don't think you can go to an event without hearing someone say you got to lock in. And that's just kind of the entirety of JDZ summed up.
I'm on another level. Yeah. Well, with that, we should move on to our first segment, really. And we are always we have gotten to know over the course of several seasons of Lorcana now a lot of the really well-known players, the best players. We see the world's competitors, the folks on teams, all of that, who are constantly crushing it in competitions. But it's always fun to look out for players who are like on the rise and who you watch play and you hear about and you watch the Lorcana journeys and you're like, these players are ones to watch out for. I was really excited this weekend while some of the other tournaments were going on, like Melbourne and of course we had Leicester and some other events out there, the Forbidden Mountain 3K. I was fortunate to get to commentate a smaller tournament down in Florida, Triad Games. Had about a 30-person tournament with some excellent competitors, Golden Mickey winners down there, CCS winners competing. And it was a lot of fun. I got to see some amazing Amber Sapphire just do bonkers stuff with Black Cauldrons. And one of the couple players there who I was, excited to see was Jonathan Williams. Hector Harris was there, who is one very well-known player in Florida, and one Charlie's and Mitch, another great player down there. So really excited to watch them. And then along comes Michell Parra, who just crushes it in the Swiss rounds and then goes through Jonathan Williams, Mitch, a bunch of other players into the finals, and ends up losing in the finals to Hector, an incredible player, and really impressed with her play and her story. So super excited she decided to join us tonight. I'm going to bring her in from the green room. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Anytime somebody from South Florida comes on, the South Florida community like rolls in deep. Everybody's in the chat cheering for you, Michelle.
Yes, I was looking at the same thing. These people got me nervous.
Oh, they shouldn't get you nervous. Like if you can go toe to toe with some of the best Lorcana players and finish second in an event like this, I mean, you should be nervous.
Absolutely not. No, this is a safe space.
Yeah. It's funny. Like the same energy though was there during the event. The chat was a lot of fun to watch during the finals, especially because everybody was basically the vibe was like everybody like, we love Hector. Hector's great. Hector's awesome. But man, we hope Michelle crushes him. And Hector was in the chat earlier, by the way. Oh, there he is. Hey, Hector. Good to see you. So yeah, it was really, really fun to watch. And yeah, like how are you feeling? How was the event? What'd you think?
Oh, the event was amazing. I had so much fun. I wasn't really that nervous as I am right now, but it was great. It was really hard to get to Hector when he's on fire, like when he's on fire, it's really hard to stop him, and his deck absolutely crushed me. And that was the only game that I was on stream. So
well, look, as somebody who has had horrendous stream luck in his Lorcana career, I absolutely understand. But can you kind of take us through your decision process on why you chose the deck you did and why you picked some of the cards to go into that deck list that you did going into the event?
Yes, funny thing is that the deck was created by Hector. He's the one who sent us the deck. So he knew the deck completely. And well, yeah, that's about it. I'm known to play Purple Steel. People say that I'm good with it. Not Obviously. To be humble, but I agree. And yeah, I think with the new meta or new sets coming out, it's really hard to see what the meta is. So I kind of always stick to what I know, and that's Purple Steel,
Yeah. How so Purple Steel is a deck that's been around a while. It sounds like you said you're well known for playing it. And actually a lot of people in the chat were saying that to me as well. And then I was getting notes from like somebody who used to coach you. stuff, Monty, during the tournament, like sending me all kinds of information. But like, so now Winterspell comes out and we get a couple new cards. I see you've worked in the Tigger. You've worked in Angel, which I know people were excited about. How did those work for you throughout the day? And would you say that they both performed where you wanted them to? Or yeah, just talk about those 2 editions and what they did for you.
I'm sorry, you're talking about the Purple Steel deck?
Tigger and Angel.
Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I don't keep up with the new sets.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so funny because we were in the tournament and they built the deck for me. And I was literally reading out the cards, like, what does this card do? It's so funny because I was like, Tigger, what does he do? Like, I was reading him and then, oh, okay, I can use this for this, you know? Angel, I did practice with her the night before and she's great. You know, the having no cards in your hand and having the resist, believe it or not, it could come in great. I don't know how well it does against Blurple, which Tribe was full of Blurple. But I like, they're great cards. I really like the new cards, especially Angel.
Angel, like in all of our testing, for sure has been the one that a lot of people read, and we just kind of initially were like, man, okay, it's a powerful card, sure, but it's not going to be that good. But in practice, there are just so many spots where she does so much. If you could go back, would you have maybe tweaked some numbers and gone up to maybe 4 Angel instead of just the 2? Like, did you enjoy her that much?
I think 2 is more than enough because I think I saw her in every game and 1 was perfect. I think if I saw the second
never
one,
get so lucky.
Yeah, it is funny because Angel, I think you're right. Like against Blurple, it's like against dogs and things like that, it was great. But the funny thing about your tournament, and we're gonna look at the metas for like Melbourne and Leicester later. But at Triad, I think there were like no dogs or like maybe 1.
Florida doesn't like dogs. I mean, that's just
apparently. I don't know. Although Florida's where dogs were invented, oddly enough, back in the day. But yeah, so your tournament, like, you know, it was funny because dogs super popular. They did really well in Melbourne, but at your event, it was just a lot of Blurple, Amethyst Steel, and then a bunch of wacky decks. Like I think there were 3 Amber Sapphire running around. It's really fascinating and fun to watch. So.
Yeah, I think in Swiss I only saw 1 Blurple. Thankfully, I still got it, but I think the hardest matchups in Swiss was blue-green, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
So speaking of which, you played blue-green in Swiss. You also played blue-green because Jonathan Williams was on blue-green, correct?
Yes, I played him twice on Swiss rounds and then on top 8.
Did you beat him in Swiss or did?
No, he got me 2-1.
And then you came back and beat him in the semis.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was on the draw too.
Oh, so that just felt like even better.
Yeah, I felt so happy after. He told me that I was a great player. Like he said, out of all the people there, I did not want to see you, and I saw you twice.
That's a high praise. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No. So, like, speaking of going into the event, was there something that you were like, if I can just not play this matchup today, I'll be incredibly happy?
Well, I went in not wanting to see Blurple. Thankfully, I didn't see any in Swiss rounds. But then, yeah, I ended up seeing. Oh, I did see Blurple in Swiss once, and then at the final with Hector.
Yeah. Hector pointing out you beat Jonathan Williams on the draw in the top 8, and Mitch, another blue-green player with purple steel. Yeah. Both great players. And yeah, if Jonathan Williams tells you like he wants to avoid you, that's high praise. Not many double golden Mickey winners. So fantastic player. Clara in the chat, another fantastic player, asked if you have any personal favorite plays with the deck.
With purple steel.
Yeah.
I think the card that I love from purple steel is the cat, the Cheshire cat, or even the cajon. People from South Florida make a lot of memes about me and Calhoun, especially Monty, you know, Sensei. He even made a whole meme with Calhoun and my face in it because I don't know why. But yeah, I those cards and the combination that I saw with this last set was the cat with the angel. Mind you, with that combination, the cat already out, you can get rid of a Dumbo without thinking about it, you know, and it's crazy the amount of plays that you can do.
The amount of just random splash damage that Angel lets you do, because normally, I mean, the last couple of sets, we've kind of had to rely on, you know, the classic 1, 2, 3 strength, right? If you don't start off with that, you tend to be a little bit behind. But now you have Angel and Cheshire Cat, so you can just move damage around. You can do some cheeky things by putting 2 damage somewhere, moving it over again to do, I mean, just to finish off something, or even putting 2 damage here, moving 1 over so you have left over. No, like she just allows you to do. She just opens up play lines, which is really good to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. So as you were talking, I was revisiting a chat with Monty this weekend because you mentioned him, and it's a fun flavor. He referred to you as a local assassin that now goes around just like knocking people out of tournaments and stuff.
Yes.
I do. The silent assassin says unmuted. Can you actually, you know what? Before I ask about your TCG background, I want to show a fun moment just because I think it's hilarious. Probably my favorite moment from the event, and I just gotta show it. So let me tee this up here. I gotta get my screen over here. This was the finals, and it's not going your way. This is game 2. Let me get this keyed up here. I'm playing this for you. Hopefully this works. And yeah, so I think Hector's clearly got game on board. You're at 6 lore. It's a little rough. Here's how your final turn went. And big fan.
Yes, I learned that from my sensei Monty.
Yeah.
I think he did the same thing on a stream, and it kind of stayed, you know. So it's so funny because right there, right before it happened, I was talking with Roger, my boyfriend, and he was right next to me while we were playing with Hector, and he's like, we know I lost, and he was like, do it. So I did it, and everybody started laughing.
I mean, if you're gonna end the day, you may as well do it with a smile, right? Like,
yeah,
that's across a lot of the final or every finals that we saw this weekend. That's one of the unique things about Lorcana. There's not like animosity between the competitors, right? At the end of the day, everybody, I mean, just as friendly as possibly can be. I don't think there are a lot of communities where you could just be like, okay, I'm done. You just like screw up the whole table and everybody would take it with the, you know, just the joke that it is and just have a good time with it.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's like that moment. I'm all about like emotion in games and playing all that, and like I had such fun with that moment because it caught me by surprise. And so it's just like this really fun, like humorous exclamation point. But it also, like Logan was saying, it shows that in the moment it's fun. It's a game. You're enjoying yourself. You can have a laugh with your opponent. And it really created just instantly this really lighthearted tone on the stream and said something about you and your community and the type of player you are. And I don't know, I cracked up, and I'm always, I know Monty did this on stream. I'm getting him in the chat saying that he did this at SHG, but I'm always going to remember that moment, like from this tournament. And and I'm not going to lie, if I'm ever playing a stream game, which I hope to never do, but if I'm ever playing a stream game, like in a big tournament, I'm probably going to do the same thing. Just for fun.
Yes, you should do it. It breaks the ice, you know.
pass it forward.
Liam's gonna win Quest of 20 and then just like scramble all the decks.
So I have one more question. Just for the community, Michelle. Like, can you is this your first TCG? Like, how'd you get into this? What's your TCG background?
It is my first TCG. My boyfriend Roger, he got me into the game. He used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and he kept on insisting. And to be honest, I was like, I don't want to do none of the card games, you know, like I'm not into that. but then he kept on insisting, and because I love him, I'm like, okay, you know what, let's try it out. I'll just go and we'll learn the game together, because he didn't know how to play either. I think we went to go learn how to play January 1st of last year. So I've been in the game for a year and a half, a year and 2 months, sorry. And well, yeah, we're both very competitive with anything. So we kind of got in the game. And the good thing is that we practice a lot, like together. Monty doesn't live too far, so we practice with Monty. Right now, Monty is out of town because of work. So our new master is Hector. So we get together, we practice, we put in games. They help us out a lot. The South community is great, because even if there's people from different teams, they still try to help people out. It's really great. The help that we get from different teams, it's crazy. It's amazing.
Yeah. Big fan of the community down there. And big fan of Monty, by the way. Shout out Monty. Great member of the community as well. Logan, any more questions?
So now that was this kind of like your first really big finish as far as like I would say it's a bigger event, because it is. I mean, there's multiple Golden Mickey winners in there, and you had to go through, somebody who's got multiple Golden Mickeys. How does it feel kind of reaching this point? Are you striving for more? Do you have any goals for the season that you're striving to hit for yourself?
I'm not sure about this season. Nah, we weren't looking that much into Infinity, and that's what's coming. But maybe in a future DLC. We went to our first DLC. That was the last one in Richmond. Mm-hmm. We didn't do that great. But that's what I'm aiming for, the Golden Mickey, Nationals, Worlds. I love the competition. I love to be able to grow. It's very shocking to see a women out there, get progress. So I don't know, it's kind of great,
Yeah. No, it's great to see. And the same weekend that you plowed through like Golden Mickey winner and multiple other amazing players to finish second in this tournament. We had our first CCQ winner, a woman over in Leicester, which was super fun. So yeah, it's really inspiring, especially when it's your first TCG, like, because there's so many, I think that's true. There's a lot of people who are finding Disney Lorcana as their first TCG because of the IP and everything, but also like a lot of women, they're coming into this game because it's one that is approachable. So it's really inspiring to like see you out there crushing people. And hopefully, people who are, if there's anybody who's nervous about getting into competitive play, perhaps you just collect or play casually, you should. You too can go crush Golden Mickey winners.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. Is it like, are you on social media? Is there any way that people can follow you in your Lorcana journey?
Yeah, I have Instagram.
Well, we'll make sure to put that in the show notes so people can follow along if you post about Lorcana.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind sending us your Instagram handle so we can post it everywhere, so everybody can go follow you and just keep up with your journey throughout the next few events, and see you in multiple top place finishes coming forward.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Last question for you. Any shout outs, anything other than, I know, the South Florida community, but any other shout outs or anything you want to mention?
Shout out to South Florida community, to Roger, to Monty, and to Hector.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and thank you to the entire South Florida Lorcana community who is in the chat right now. You all are awesome. Thanks so much, Michelle, and congrats again on an awesome performance.
Thank you for having me.
No, thanks so much.
That was awesome. She was so fun to watch play, like, honestly.
Well, and always having someone who has, I don't know, the energy that she has is just very, very kind. So having someone like that do well, I mean, it's very representative of the community, and you can tell when she talks about the game, she just has a lot of love for it. And those are the kind of people you want to see do well, and the kind of people we want to lift up continuously when they do well, and just encourage them to continue doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that was a fantastic event. Shout out to Triad for an awesome tournament and for kind of trying to to build something down there at South Florida where there's a bit of a hole that was left recently. So I appreciate them for building that out and for having me and providing a space for these awesome players to play. But Logan, there was something bigger that happened in this weekend on both sides of the ocean. One of them, as we already kind of got a preview of, was Melbourne. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. Before I do, I think it is incumbent that I just one more time, or for the second time, mention the giveaway we're running. If you're just showing up, we're going to give away this playmat at the end of the show. I'm going to post the link again here in the chat. Feel free to enter once. Just enter only once. I'm going to filter it. I'm going to check. But we're going to run this giveaway at the end of the show. You have to be present to win. Yeah. So, okay. So that's that. But I'm really excited to welcome in another guest we've had on the show multiple times, another fantastic member of the community. Not only is he, well, I think most of us know him from his judging, from the judging side of things, but he is an ambassador for the game and for the community in multiple ways behind the scenes that not everybody sees. So I'm excited to welcome him in fresh off his appearance as a lore guide in Australia, Mr. Albert Berdellens. Albert.
Hey, gentlemen. Happy to be here.
I'm terrible at intros, so I just no, thanks for joining us. You're everywhere. Like, you were in Singapore, now you're down in Australia. Like, how was it overall?
Really, really amazing. Kind of a whirlwind. I think one of the things that has been a big factor, kind of a undercurrent throughout this whole season, is as these DLCs are happening in different areas, you have a group of competitive players that are flying all over the world. And I think that it's only right that, judges, if they can, try to put in the same effort so that there's not imbalance between very experienced players and only local judges. So we can't make it quite too easy, can we?
No, I appreciate that. It is, the same way that, to echo your point, the same way that we all have players that we see at various tournaments, and we all learn to recognize, and we know that there are fantastic players and events or fields get credibility because we know those players. You have the same on the commentator side. You have commentators that we all get to know, but the judges too become well-known faces. And it's really a fun thing when you go to an event, whether it's a DLC or Charlie's or Ink or Sharp Gaming or CC, any of those, PBG, and you walk in and you see like some of the faces that you recognize among the staff and among the judges, because it gives you this, like, one, it kind of feels like home, and then two, it gives you a lot of confidence in the skill of that judging team because they know the amount of experience that you bring to bear. So I appreciate you doing that. What brought you down there? How'd you end up? Did you get invited, or how'd you end up there?
So this is a very interesting story. So many of us, I know both of us were at, I don't know, Logan, if you were at the first Gen Con where the game was released, but all of us kind of remember that line as the game was being released, and we're all waiting there. And there was a moment kind of before the doors opened as people were trying to figure out what was going on with the line, where Ryan Miller came out and kind of saw the scene, and with him was the head of organized play at the time. And so I went up to that group of two people and I said, there's going to be a problem here if we don't fix things. I don't want to rehash all that. But there was someone else that was with me. There was two of us, and it was this woman from Australia. And it was very clear that she knew what she was talking about. I'm like, well, she must have run a bunch of events. And that was Kip from TAC Games in Australia. So I met her at that moment, on that day, during that exact time, and we've stayed in touch ever since. So, after the issues that happened last year, we started a conversation about, hey, it'd be kind of cool to come down and visit. And what you were talking about before, Liam, I think is right on the nose. You do start to see familiar faces, and it does inspire confidence. And that's a very interesting point, because being a judge is kind of weird. If you're doing your job perfectly as a judge, you're invisible. And I got to tell you, the most impressive thing about how we handled it as a judge team this past weekend is the fact that absolutely no one is talking about judges today. They're talking about the metagame, talking about dogs. Oh, this is imbalanced. Purple draws too many cards. All the same nonsense that people always talk about. And that's perfect. If the focus is on the gameplay and on the players, we have done our jobs well. That's really the key. And you talk about that it inspires confidence. The thing is, last year, there was a almost perfectly well-run event, except for just a couple extremely noticeable mistakes, and that overshadowed everything. And all they really needed this year was a boost of confidence to let them know that they're good enough to be on the world stage and can re-engage. And that is really all I was there to do. There was a world-class staff of judges in Australia. There's a world-class operation for the tournament organizers, and it's an incredible competitive scene. And all they needed was just a little bit of support. And I hope I was able to help them do that.
So I just want to absolutely mirror what you were saying, Albert. There were a couple of moments on stream while JDZ was casting, and as something would happen, he would be like, hold on, wait, I think something. And then as he was saying, hey, I think something might have maybe been a player or, a dexterity error, before he could even really finish his sentence, whoever was the table judge or whoever was watching immediately was able to correct whatever was happening. So very much like, I can't thank you guys enough, because a lot of what you're saying is absolutely true. We tend to take judges for granted, especially the good ones, because when an event's going well, you don't notice that you guys are there. But it's a very necessary part to make sure that all these events run as well as they do, to make sure that competitive integrity is upheld, to make sure that, just all of the P's and Q's are taken care of. And I just can't shout out again how well you guys did this weekend. Just mirroring your point again, there's no big debacle that we're talking about as far as, oh, wow, well, this guy did something and it was off. That just didn't happen.
Yeah, so the special thing about that was what I didn't want is for there to be this perception of, oh, here comes the Americans to come save the day and show us how it's done. That was not what I wanted at all. So we had a homegrown Australian head judge. I took the role as deputy head judge and stream lead. I frankly don't need the resume builder. But even on stream, even though when I was sitting there the whole weekend, which we'll talk about in a second, we rotated in all kinds of different judges to get them experience, to get them reps, because they have one DLC a year. And we want, because it's not just about the one competition, okay? This is kind of the pinnacle of their competitive season in their region. And so all of these judges that are here floor judging during the DLC then go out and judge the set championships and judge the CCQs and so forth. So it's kind of this diaspora of expertise that is really important to develop, because otherwise you're going to have the Wild West at all these local game stores, and that's really where the bread and butter of the community is built.
Yeah. Well said. Man, every time you talk, Albert, I'm like, yep, that's the truth. As Monty says in the chat here, Albert spitting fire. Yeah. So overall, like, how was the tournament? This was the first the first DLC we had of Winterspell, but it's really like the first real week of Winterspell. And the other thing I love about this, and you sent this to me in the notes, and I think this is true of most DLCs now, but we have people traveling from around the world for these now. And Australia is interesting because I suspect you get, I know like the 4th place finisher, I believe, was from Singapore. You get a lot of people from up and down, Eastern Asia, as well as folks from, various parts of North America, and then some crazy folks like DKP flying over from Europe. So how was it seeing all those people come together, and also this being like the first Winterspell big event that we've seen?
Yeah, so going into the tournament, really there were two things that were prime focus. It was, we're going to take our time and get things right on stream and in the tournament, and we're going to share expertise and rely on each other. And the second thing is, we're going to get deck lists out in full as soon as humanly possible. That's what everybody wants to see. Mm-hmm. And I'm really big on like transparency and competitive fairness and all that. I certainly didn't want like practice groups and teams to have a significant advantage over anybody else in terms of scouting and things like that. All these little soft advantages that players take advantage of because any edge they can get, they'll take. But judges usually don't have time to care about. I wanted to make sure we were as prepared as possible to care about them. And that was really the key for this tournament. We knew that a lot of eyes were going to be on it with the first big tournament of the new set. And we took that very seriously. So, the staff could not have been more diligent in getting prepared. The benefit that we have is the international judge community does collaborate and get together and share notes. We had judges who were maybe not even working any events relatively soon, but spent a lot of time and effort putting together notes of all the rules changes and interactions with new cards and little nuances that might be important. And so the fact that the entire judge community and a community of lore guides can get together and help each other, even when there's no direct benefit, I think that is the sign of a tremendously healthy community, a community that's going to survive and thrive.
I mean, that's something we've always known about Lorcana that has an edge over other games, right? Our community genuinely is second to none. I mean, you just look at how the judges and top players, even from the casual players to the people who come to just hang out and do cosplays and things like that, how we all interact. There's a uniqueness to this game that you don't find in other places. And there's a level of dedication in every aspect of this game that I don't think you find in other areas. I mean, there's some people that I'm sure you know, Albert, that they dedicate weeks, hours of their weeks to just learning the rules so they can help people at events play up to their ability as much as possible.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and shout out Googly Glimmers here. Poor guy. He just subjects himself to getting flamed on Reddit all day long to educate people. Totally in the trenches, just fighting the good fight and just getting absolutely downvoted into oblivion, even though he's like 100% correct about the letter of the rules. So the valiant efforts, even in the face of futility, I really respect, because they do make a difference. And what it does is it brings these issues to light so that they can be discussed and considered and fixed and all that. And the level of dedication in this game is in many cases beyond all reason. But it's there's a saying that a civilization is truly great when old men plant trees whose shade they'll never sit in. And I think that's what we have here.
Again, spitting fire. It's funny you mentioned Joe, because he is, and there's other judges who do it too, but Joe is like on the vanguard, I feel like, most of the time, but really taking it upon themselves to get out there, to be, I don't know, to shed light on different rules, interactions, to kind of clear things up, to be an arbiter of truth, and it's selfless in a lot of ways, and I appreciate that. Before I forget, and I do want to ask a little bit more about what you think of the Australian community and Australia in general, but if for people who are interested, I always ask what the judges are on, but for people who are interested in getting involved in the judging community, to become a part of that community, or even if it's just to perhaps learn what they need to learn to judge at a league night, like, how would you recommend people get plugged in?
So we have a Discord server, Lorcana Rulebook Hub, discord.gg/LRH. You can join, participate, get involved. We do quizzes and so forth, and it's literally the only place where everybody gathers, and it's the whole world's worth of lore guides all in one place, which is pretty cool. Recently, all the various lore guides who've gotten involved in Southeast Asia have joined. The Japanese are in there. Even mainland China has all come in. So it's pretty cool. And now with the addition of Brazil, so it's a pretty cool place.
I'm popping that link in the chat for folks.
Just the immediate find.
Yeah, check out the Rulebook Hub here. So Australia, like you kind of mentioned it right up front, but what did you think of the Australian Lorcana community, and then just like Australia in general? How is it done?
It's surprisingly strong. You have to keep in mind, Australia is not a particularly large place in terms of population. Geographically it's large, but it's only got between Australia and New Zealand combined a little over 30 million people, which is about the same as the state of Texas has alone. So really a fairly small kind of population to draw from. But still, you have to understand that down here, a lot of the players that live here are involved in other kind of international groups in the game. They're members of teams. They're playing in the ICL. They're part of testing groups on different servers, and they're like the one token Australian in that group. But then to see all of them together, to see the 500 of them, and so forth that are involved in the game, all come together in one place once a year. It's pretty cool. It was like someone told me seeing me there was kind of like a crossover episode of their favorite sitcom. And that's what it felt like. I got to see the grinders I've now seen on 4 different continents. No, now 5 continents, I suppose. Oh, hey, here you are. And it was just really a surreal experience. So there's definitely a very unique aspect to it, but it felt like home anyway. And I could not be more grateful to all the Australian, New Zealand community for making everyone from out of town feel so incredibly welcome. They were warm and kind, and I learned a lot of new slang. I did not fall victim to the Vegemite prank because I knew better, but I do love JDC's willingness. Just he's down for absolutely anything. I love it. But everyone that we interacted with was just so incredibly gracious, and I couldn't be more thankful.
That's funny. Yeah, I have to admit, everything I know about Australia, I learned from Bluey. So there's certain things I do know, but I don't think Vegemite's ever come up in Bluey though. So I don't know.
Better off.
Yeah, that's fair. Like JDZ, the only like Vegemite, I'm aware of it simply because of the Men at Work song. Without Down Under, I don't think I've ever heard that word. But
there you go.
Anyway. No, I appreciate you like flying down there. I appreciate you, just like JD being an ambassador for, for North America and for the judge community over there. And, yeah, it was really cool. It's funny you mentioned the Australian community too, because like before the game even came out, before the game even came out in North America, and then it was delayed for Australia for like, what was it, like 6 months or something, or a year? It was a while. I remember how many people from Australia and local game stores were trying to find product to ship over to begin to build their communities at great cost, because to get first chapter and then to get it shipped over there and then out to wherever the game store is in whatever part of Australia is not cheap. And I was really, really struck with how early on Australia was leaning into the game. And so it doesn't surprise me at all to hear that the community is that passionate and that strong down there. So,
yeah, the number one thing they want is they just want to be respected as part of the gang, part of the group, just like everybody else. And I hope that we were able to accomplish that this time. People don't really realize what they're watching on stream a lot of the time, but it takes a tremendous amount of effort to make it look exactly like everywhere else. I mean, even from an equipment standpoint, like we're using different equipment, different plugs, things people don't take into account. And so the tremendous work that was done to try to create international consistency and put them at the level of quality that is expected from an international viewing audience was amazing. I do want to say one thing about the stream and corrections and so forth. It would be faster, but there's something I think that people aren't realizing is happening there. As there's an issue on stream, there's not only like a ruling that needs to happen, but you have to very carefully explain what you're going to do. You can't just start fixing it, because I actually want to preserve the right for people to appeal if they don't agree. And if I just start fixing stuff, then they're no longer able to do that. Like cards are already in different places and they can't, say they disagree with my decision. It didn't happen, but nonetheless, people have that right. So I don't want to just bowl over it. So sometimes when people do this on the internet, they spew opinions when they know absolutely nothing about it, and you can't really listen in. One of the cool things about this particular stream was I actually asked JDZ and I asked production, I was like, show the judge calls. I got nothing to hide, and I would love to do it in front of everybody. So I think that actually was helpful for people to kind of see how these things get fixed and addressed, because the secrecy adds a layer of like, well, what are they hiding? What are they doing? Imagine if in professional sports, the referees and umpires didn't explain what was going on. So I thought that was actually a positive change, and I hope it does get implemented for future events.
No, I absolutely mirror that. Generally, if there's a judge call, I mean, the screen cuts immediately, and all we see is the casters, and all of a sudden they have to kind of feel this dead air time while whatever play mistake or a dexterity error or judge call is happening is being taken care of. We just don't get to see any of that. And I absolutely agree with you. I think having that transparency and us actually getting to physically see what's happening helps take away that he said, she said moment, right? It just takes away any doubt, and if anything, solidifies you or the judging team as people who are really making sure that everything is done up to the letter of, just the rules of the game.
So there is one aspect of this that I really have to confess. I ended up having to basically judge the stream the entire weekend in conjunction with other people, but that is exhausting. I do not recommend that. And to all the judges out there, do not do that. By the end of the weekend, I like literally collapsed from exhaustion. It is so stressful to have to pay attention and focus at a very high level for that period of time. It is not really possible to do it without overexhausting yourself. And if I were a little bit wiser, I would have, taken more breaks, but it was just, we really wanted to get it done. In fact, there's just to show you the level of detail that it requires. If you go back and watch the finals, there was actually a moment right at the beginning of game one of the grand finals where Dylan, he had just mulliganed or altered, and he was then having his deck shuffled for the final time by Jonathan Lamb, and he received his deck back, and then he went to cut it again himself. And I was like, whoop, nope, absolutely not. And then he put it back exactly how it was, and he's like, good catch. I'm like, yeah, man, let's start this off right. But just little things like that 99.999% of people don't care about or notice. I subscribe to the messy chairs theory of judging, which is enforce everything. Push in the chairs, pick up the trash, run the thing on time, and the rest will take care of itself. And I could pontificate on that for a long time. But if you do the little things right, I tend to think that the big things fall into place.
No, absolutely. And it's just those little, you're talking about your exhaustion, but the players have just done however many rounds of Swiss. You kind of get to that point and they're trying to focus on what they're doing, but some things just kind of fall into muscle memory. And whether it's out of order or not, they just kind of start going through habits. So anything that comes out of habit, out of sequence, you just kind of have to catch and be like, hold on, this isn't correct. It's like, not only are you tired, but they're exhausted. So you're dealing with a room of people that are just burnt, that very likely at the end are all going to leave and, as you say, collapse from exhaustion. So, just keeping the good fight, as we're saying, and just keeping that level of attention to detail, just to make sure the integrity of the event is held up we can't thank you enough for it, man.
And especially, well, that's very kind, but especially with a new set where it's new cards and as a judge, you don't have the muscle memory. So I constantly had to look up cards fairly fast and be like, am I sure I remember exactly what that does? Because I don't want to stop the game and mess up the play. So it's a tough role, but I'm glad a lot of people got experience on it from the Australia community, and I'm sure they'll take that into their local communities for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for everything you do, not just in Australia, but for the community at large, and shout out to the greater judging community as well. Any closing thoughts, Albert? First, appreciate you stopping by. I know you're all over the place. I know you had an exhausting weekend, and the fact that you're taking the time means a lot to me. Any closing thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I need to thank my wife for her incredible patience and indulgence in doing this. When I first explained that we were going to Australia, there was a lot of excitement. And then when I explained why we were going to Australia, there was slightly less excitement. So I'm still in Sydney a couple more days. I'm going to do something very nice for her. So first of all, that. And also thank you to the incredible Australia, New Zealand community for being so gracious and so, how do I put this? So brave in the face of that. I'm going to be honest for a moment. There were so many judges who were more than good enough to judge on stream, but they didn't want to because they were terrified of making a mistake and getting flamed for weeks and months over it. Last year we had a judge that made a mistake induced by a player, and that judge's judging career was ended. That judge has not judged again. There are real people on the other side of these things. And so the most important thing that occurred this year was we were able to give a whole continent's worth of judges their confidence back. And I will fly any number of miles to accomplish that. And I'm really grateful we had the opportunity to fix it.
I can't think of a better way to end it. For those interested in following Albert, make sure you check out the link that we posted to the Lorcana Rulebook Hub. You can also follow Albert on Twitter. I'll throw up the page here again, because Albert is always posting amazing things. I brought up this tweet here because we got to live a little vicariously through him and see the setup down there. So you should also follow him on Twitter at EDMSnob. There you go. I appreciate Albert so much, and say hello to your wife for us, and safe travels back.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Take it
Thank
easy.
you.
Albert, and there's a lot of people. We say this to all our guests, but welcome back anytime at all.
What a pillar. A much needed pillar, by the way.
Yeah. Albert has been around, the tournament organization side of things and the judging side of things since the very beginning. And there are certain members of the community, and I will say too, like Ravensburger staff and people who are involved in this game, who have done things for the game, for the artists, for the tournament scene, that have made a world of difference that nobody ever sees. And if we were to be able to like rewrite history and explore what it would be like without those individuals, the Lorcana community would be a completely different place. Albert's one of those people who has put in so much work behind the scenes, mentoring people, building things, creating guides, doing things to make the community better. And a lot of people don't see a lot of what he does. And so I appreciate him a lot.
No, absolutely. This is just your daily reminder to appreciate your judges, appreciate the people who are taking the time to really dive into the rules of the game and help your local communities do better. That's not even to say that a lot of people are not playing the game at a high caliber, but it's always good to have somebody in your corner that knows the letter of the rule book better than you.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate to know tons of people that at any point in time I can to figure out the name of, or not the name, maybe not even the name, but just the sequence of events that would cause certain interactions in the game to work. Shout out to Speedy and any of the Discord. Shout out to Googly Glimmers. I can at them. It's almost any time of day and they'll get back to me. Love your judges. Pay them attention and thank them for their work that they do.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, Joe's in the chat. Hey, Joe. There we go. All right. I mentioned the giveaway before earlier. I won't do it again until we get ready to close it out. Tell your friends. But we need to talk more about the competitive side of Melbourne and the meta and all of that, because that's important and it's fun and it's interesting. And to help us do that, Logan, we have some awesome guests in the green room.
What do you think? Both at the same time?
I think both at the same time, as fast as I can. So both world class cards competitors, both off amazing performances down there in DLC Melbourne. It is Jonathan Lamb and Tiago. It was almost simultaneous.
Oh my gosh!
Hi. Hey, what's up,
Tiago?
Are you in an airport?
Dude, I'm always in an airport. Literally always. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm in an airport.
I just got back from my airport like literally 5 minutes ago and hopped on this.
Yeah, it's fun. Both so I joked earlier, I messaged like how we're always pulling together guests and everything last minute because it all depends on what happens during the weekend and who we can get. And And another example, both Jonathan and Tiago said yes at the very last minute. I think I messaged both of you today, and both of you were like, I'm traveling, you know, I don't know, maybe. And so Tiago's in the airport. John, you rolled in. You're like in the car being like, I'm almost there. That's funny.
There.
Yeah, it's really brutal. Like these flights, especially since most of the tournaments this year have been in Asia or on like the Eastern Hemisphere. So for me, I live in Maine, so I have to fly from Boston to San Francisco, which is like complete opposite sides of the U.S. So before I get my 17-hour flight to Asia, I have to take a 7-hour flight within the U.S. after like driving 2 hours and whatever. So today there's like a snowstorm in the East Coast, so all the flights to Newark and New York and Boston are all shut down, and then tomorrow they're all also canceled. Or they're not canceled, but like everyone who canceled today rebooked tomorrow, so there's no seats you can get there. So it's like you can't. It's just the classic. Something like this happens every other tournament or whatever. So we're just used to it at this point. We just take our calls from the airport now.
I mean, if I told you the amount of times either Liam and I have done the show from a hotel room from traveling, like that's just part of the love of the game, right?
It's true.
Well, so just individually, I guess we can start with Tiago. Tell us a little bit about your tournament run, why you chose the deck you did, and how you feel overall afterwards, reflecting if you felt like that was the correct choice.
Yeah, so this tournament, I decided to play dogs. I ended up finishing in the top 16. I think I finished 10th place or whatever. And yeah, I mean, I think my deck was an excellent choice. I had been pretty unsatisfied, I guess, with my practice kind of over the last couple of months. So after Hong Kong, which was the last tournament of set 10, I decided to make a concerted effort to really change how I was practicing. And so I practiced with a lot of people who I didn't practice with before, and just kind of changed a lot of those habits. And I was extraordinarily confident going into this weekend. I'd been really dominating in literally any form of practice. Like online, I was rank 1. I still am. I was like I hit it on multiple accounts. In practice with like the other best players in the world, I was like dominating. Like the win rates I was putting up in practice against the best players in the world were like nothing that any of us had ever seen in any set before. Like I think this deck was so beyond broken. And then I was just super confident. I arrived there on Thursday. I played some games against Jonathan Lamb and DKP playing Blurple, and then felt really good after those as well. And then after that, I went over to hang out with Dylan, who would eventually become the champion. And when I got to his place, they were all playing a different version of Green Yellow. They were playing the 4 copies of Under the Sea, 0 copies of Chromacon deck, which plays like drastically different. And I was like, please play Chromacon. This thing is so broken. You have to play this. And then I was able to convince 2 of them to swap to it, one of them being Dylan. And so I was, when I ended up getting eliminated, I was lucky that so many of my friends were still in it. So I was able to cheer them on. And since one of them was able to take it down, I was, still pretty happy overall with the weekend. I just think, the deck was really broken. I had pretty unfortunate situations happening in the game that I got eliminated. But I think if we played the tournament a million times over, like I would have done very well pretty consistently. I think the deck is just really broken, and I'm glad that Dylan got to show that.
And I guess like moving on to Jonathan, kind of the same question for you. I mean, obviously world-class cards had a fantastic showing this weekend. Literally all of you guys that showed up ended up making day 2 in the top cut. Did you have the same feeling of confidence that Tiago's talking about going into the event? Did you have the same level of like testing? How are you feeling going into the event? Do you feel like the choice you made was correct?
All right, so so I've been trying to change the my way of deciding which deck I'm bringing to events. I've been trying to change the thought process a lot recently. Before, I would kind of bring whatever I felt was the best answer to the meta. I guess as a blue steel wheel player, I had been doing that for 2 years. So that's kind of what I was comfortable with. But I think recently I've been transitioning to trying to be the meta, And I would say just following DKP and Tiago and Ed's advice at these last 2 tournaments in Suzhou and now in Melbourne, I think that it's been helping me grow a lot as a player. But there is the other side of that where me jumping from deck to deck to deck means that I don't have that many reps on it. I don't have that much experience playing these specific decks. So like if you're ever at those DLCs, you'll probably see me run up to Tiago and add a DKP between every single round. I'd be like, okay, guys, what do I do? Like, what's the best line on the play? What's the best line on the draw? What cards do I keep? Like, this is literally me every single round. So am I confident in the deck and in myself? No, not really at all. But I trust my teammates, and they've been helping me grow so much as a player. And I'm kind of just like piggybacking on their success and on their skills. So
no, stop. This is complete absurdity. Don't let this guy fool you. Like, this guy's sitting there. He has his little 3 Mickeys sitting behind him. He's like, guys, I don't know what I'm doing. He's a complete killer now. And yeah, we're so happy that he was able to join the Triple Mickey Club. Very, very exclusive. And yeah, just he's been crushing. And now he's like fully unlocked. He's like, every tournament I'm just going to copy DKP deck list, and the worst he's ever done is like top 16. So he's actually, you guys better watch out this year, because he's final form right now.
So it's a lot of fun. I'm just getting to try out these different archetypes, and I think just really it's been helping me grow so much. So definitely thank you so much to like WCC and them all. I definitely would not be able to deal with them without them. Like, I would be so lost without them. So genuinely, I'm confident in it. I did a lot of testing with DKP and Tiago before the event, so I was just like jamming mirrors, and I think that's probably what made me decide not to run the Wasabi that I should have run. But yeah, so that's why I decided to take more for the mirror. We were expecting a lot of blur pull, which dogs was also very up there, and that definitely adding 1 or 2 techs for dogs would have been very smart. So if you guys are like interested in like the different ratios, then we can talk about it later, but I'll leave it to you later. Yeah.
I mean, Logan, do you want to get into that now? Take a look at the meta breakdown and the conversion rates?
I think it's a really good transition.
I feel like, well, let's start because I feel like it's a good segue. You kind of teed us up perfectly, Jonathan. So here it is. This is the meta share day 1 of Melbourne. I mean, is this kind of what everyone expected?
I would say no. I would say that this meta ended up being way more diverse than most people would have expected. It's extremely uncommon that we'll see like the number 1 most played deck in a meta take up 28% of the field, and that being more than double the amount of share that the second most popular deck has. So we would typically see, if there was a deck that was like 28% of the field, we'd see like a deck at 21% and a deck at 17% and a deck at 13.5% before you get down to where these decks are. So it's really this like giant string of like 3, 5, like 7 decks between the like 4 to 13% range, which is pretty uncommon to see. And I think it's like partially because it's a new meta, so people haven't like seen deck lists that they're going to copy and whatever. But I do think that we're in a reasonably like healthy meta, like in terms of you can have a lot of success with a lot of different ink pairs, because we're like deep enough into the rotation cycle where every color has like some strong thing that it provides, except Ruby maybe, but you can like pretty defensively build archetypes in a lot of different ink pairs.
Well, I mean, yeah, just talking about that, you just look at the world-class cards spread going into the event. I mean, you had Ed on Emerald Sapphire, you had Jonathan Lamb and DKP both on Blurple, Tiago, you were on Dogs. Like, even within your own camp, it was pretty diverse. How did you all individually end up where you landed? I know we kind of talked about like your confidence levels, but was it because you were expecting, like Tiago, let's just say like for the Dogs, was it because you were expecting a lot of Amethyst that you were able to take advantage of?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of factors, right? I think in this game, people have really been rewarded for sticking to the same deck and really becoming masters of it, especially the top players. So I think DKP, for example, he, after Hong Kong, which was the last tournament of set 10, he went on a trip for a week, and so when he got back, he was like, looked at the Blurple cards, Blurple looked super strong, and it's what he's been playing, so he was like pretty committed to it right away. And it was a deck that Jonathan, even though he hadn't like played in a tournament at the end of set 10, it was something that he'd been practicing a lot behind the scenes. And for me, I just thought that Dogs was like beyond broken. I thought, and that kind of showed in the data. we see on the screen is 13% of the field, which is what, like a ninth of the fields or whatever, and it was over a third of the top cut. So it like it overperformed to an unbelievable level, and I don't think people were like super prepared for it. So that was mostly the reason why I played the deck. I thought that I was playing what was just by far the best deck. It was something the people I had worked on the deck with were Alphos and Justice. Alphos was number one after day one in Axion, and Justice went 7-0 in the side event or whatever. And Dylan and our friend James, and then Dylan won the tournament, and James also made top cut, and I got 10th. So like everyone who played the deck did unbelievably well. I just played it because it was incredibly broken, and I was doing like a lot behind the scenes to get the deck to where it is. And so that was kind of the reason why I brought it. And as far as Ed, he had just been kind of experimenting a lot over the last couple of weeks. And so he's someone who really likes to test the limits of everything. So he's playing all these bad decks with like the worst cards you've ever seen, and he's like slamming 4 copies of like every card he would tell me, I would have to like go into the app and start reading what this does. Like, can anybody tell me what Fangmeyer does? No, but like Ed's entire deck was built around it. So he kind of didn't end up landing on anything he likes. And I had been a big fan of Green Blue. I was a bit shocked at kind of the way that people were talking about the deck. I didn't think that it was going to fall off in the way some of the Green Blue players thought it would. I thought that the scare that they had of the Amber aggressive decks with Grandmother Willow would not really tilt the play rates enough to make Green Blue bad, when it was like clearly the best deck of the last format, as evidenced by Richmond. And so to me, it was so shocking that people were playing like these blue-yellow control decks. In my mind, it was just like completely unconscionable to play something like that over playing green-blue. Like, they have just extraordinarily similar matchup spreads, and it just does worse in like each of the matchups. It's like it has the same spread with like lower percentage points across the board. So I was really encouraging Ed to play green-blue, and we kind of have like we share the same belief where like you should just play a deck that you're comfortable with. It's something that like fits your style, and yeah, I think it's just the deck that fits his style the best. But he literally the night before was like completely spiraling. We're up at like 5:40 a.m. and that's when we decided we're gonna play like Strike a Good Match and Ink Geyser. We're just like flipping through old deck lists to try to get ideas or whatever, and then he landed on that, and then yeah, we ended up being the 1 and 2 seed after the first day. So it was like we got there in opposite ways, where like I was like had my deck list locked in a week before, and he's like asking the judges if he can still like resubmit after he submitted the night before. And but it worked out for both, right? There's many different ways you can be successful, and many different like
he actually had to resubmit. He actually had to resubmit because I convinced him to play Tomato 7 cost with Ward.
This is the worst.
That's how deep Spiral was. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know what that card is, but he's literally just playing a 7-mana 6/6 with Ward with Singer 7. Like, that was just his idea. Basically, the night before, like, I had slept at 5 a.m. and woken up at 8 a.m., so I'd be tired like Friday night, and I'd have like a good night's sleep, right? And so we're all in mine and Ed's hotel room, and it's like 9 p.m. or something, and Ed's like, oh, I don't know, I'm playing blah blah, and I was like, what if we play Strike a Good Match in green blue? It like helps you dig towards your combo. You just want to play like these really strong things, like your Prince Philip combo, your Clarabelle, you're welcome, your 7-drop spam, right? And then you want everything else in your deck to just draw you into this, so you're just doing your powerful stuff every game, and then you just ink these other cards. And then he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. And so we're gonna play like Strike a Good Match. It's gonna like fix your under the sea and bad matchups and whatever. Like, you can just get rid of it, and then you basically like drew an extra card. And this is great. He's like, yeah, I actually feel great about this. Which for me, who's been listening to him spiral for the last 2 weeks, like I was like, he said he feels great about this? That's amazing. And so then he like goes down to like grab some food or whatever. I like knock out cold. And then at like 5 a.m. or whatever, I look over and he's just sitting there doom scrolling his phone. He's like, dude, I had an hour and a half conversation with Lamb yesterday, and it was enlightening. And he's like, I was like, what? And then he was like, I actually solved the blurple on the draw. I'm going to play Tamatoa 7-drop 6/6 Ward, and it's going to sing Heads Hell Time. I'm like, what are we doing? I had to like sit there literally at 5:30 a.m. writing an entire dissertation on why this would not work. And he's at the end of it, we like finally arrive. Okay, fine, I won't play this. And then he ends up coming up with Ink Geyser like literally at like 2 hours before, an hour and 40 minutes before submission or whatever. He like submitted the form that it writes in bold like do not resubmit another form or whatever. And so he like asked the judge like no problem. So I went to sleep thinking everything was fine, and I woke up and he had 4 Heads Held High, 4 Tamatoa 7-drop in his deck. Everything was not, in fact, fine.
You just wake up and he's over there just like fires around him. It's fine.
Yeah, like,
we're okay. We're going to do so good.
Ruby Steel is the answer.
Yeah, I don't know what could have possibly happened, but it's all Jonathan Lamb's
It was a
fault,
good
I guess.
conversation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
These behind the scenes stories are kind of the best. So that happens, right? So we looked at the meta share, and just to complete the story for folks, so I'm going to show you a really rough slide in a second, because I didn't get a grab of the meta share, but I have it broken down on the next slide. So then this happens, and so the story here, there's a couple, but Amber Emerald, you see 13% of the meta, and then this happens, and Amber Emerald is everywhere. And to give people an idea of what this actually looks like for the top 5 decks, the rest don't really matter a whole lot, but to give you an idea of the way the meta shapes up, so Amber Emerald is 13%. It goes to 34% in the top 32, a change in percentage of 164%. Blurple inches up a little bit, so it converts okay, a little above average. It's fine. Amethyst Steel converts very well. Amber Steel does not do well. Emerald Sapphire also a little bit not terribly great, and there's a bunch of other decks that don't make the top cut at all. We did see one Amethyst Emerald sneak in, I think, and then one Ruby Amethyst kind of sneak in there. So but other than that, this is kind of the story. And so to me, like dogs, like question mark exclamation point, like absolutely crushing it. How do you explain that incredible conversion rate?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's just an extremely powerful deck that got the most powerful card in the set, which is the Grandmother Willow. And what the Grandmother Willow does is it shapes the game in a way that the purple decks are really susceptible to. So a lot of the Amethyst decks are all trying to play these like fair curve out game plans where they play their characters, they play a character a turn, and they top it off with some removal and some card draw. And what the Grandmother Willow does is it breaks this parity where you guys are both just bouncing back, playing your characters per turn, and they are eventually getting to the point of the game where they're going to pair their cheap removal with card draw and snowball you out of the game. And so what the Grandmother Willow does is it allows you to take advantage of their early turns where they're only developing a single thread, or in Blurple's case, skipping the second turn or whatever. And it allows you to create a really big board state. And a lot of the purple decks aren't very good at dealing with these very wide board states, particularly before they can cast Demona. And then also that's where the Chromacon comes in. It like stops a lot of Blurple's removal. These like Elsa's and Demona's effects, they are really, really poor against Chromacon, particularly when it's paired with Lilo Escape Artist. And so we saw 2 different versions of the dogs lists, the green-yellow list. There's the Chromacon versions and the Under the Sea versions. In my opinion, the Under the Sea versions are much better into the green-yellow mirror. The Under the Sea versions completely dominate it, and it's extremely difficult for the Chromacon dogs decks to beat the Under the Sea versions. But I think the Chromacon dogs decks were, particularly for this weekend, a much better choice because the Chromacons just completely dominate the purple decks. The Under the Sea versions can beat the purple decks like a good amount of the time, but they don't completely dominate them in the way that the Chromacon versions do. And it's because the Chromacon, when paired with the Grandmother Willow, allows the dogs decks to really create this velocity that the purple decks can't keep up with.
Oh, that's something that I don't think a lot of people think of. Before, in the dogs list, you'd have to wait for a window of time where you could play the Chromacon, establish it, and then either have characters established or have enough ink so you could continue playing characters. And you're talking about a deck that doesn't want to ink above like 2 or 3 on average. So it's really hard to find time. Whereas like Grandmother Willow allows you to, I'm going to play Chromacon and also another character. Like I'm going to continue developing my board. And I mean, it just, especially for like Blurple or Amethyst Steel, it just creates these very wide board states that it just doesn't matter what they do. In like turn 3 or 4, they're staring at like 7 to 8 characters to their 3, and you're like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, and I know that Jonathan played against both the Chromacon version and the Under the Sea version in Top Cut, and I mean, do you want to like let us know how it feels like playing against each of the different versions? Because I think it is worth noting that, like, yes, Green Yellow was a third of the Top Cut, but these decks, it was pretty split in half between the Under the Sea version and the Chromacon versions, and I think it's like pretty easy to conflate the two when realistically they play completely differently.
Yeah. So some distinct, I obviously had to ask Tiago for help before both of these matches. So I'm basically just speaking for Tiago now, but the Under the Sea version, you're pretty much, they're very much a combo deck, right? So they're going to try to get to the big tramp, right? And then once their big tramp comes down, they're going to filter their hand, look for it under the sea, and then wipe your board. And they have a lot of like, they have like 8 cards that can reduce the cost, like the strength of your character to get it under the sea threshold. So there's like 4 rhinos and there's 4 Delamoon's Lullabies. And so they will use these cards, sing the Delamoon's Lullaby with their 2-drop, and then reduce your character and then sing Under the Sea and wipe your board. And then from that point on, like they just have too many characters on board. It's impossible to come back, and they just quest in like 2 turns and end the game, right? So they'll just stand every character, reduce the cost of the tramp, and then get the tramp down, filter the hand, find the Under the Sea, and wipe your board, and it's game over. And I guess the way to play around this deck is you kind of, as Blurple on the play, it's quite easy. You just play 1 Elsa on turn 4, tap down the tramp and kill it, and then suddenly they're stuck with the Under the Sea in their hand, and they don't really have much card draw. So they don't run any Lady 5s in this deck, so they don't have any ways to regather their resources after you started whittling down their board. Demona is really good in this deck as well because, again, once you kill a tramp, you with the Elsa, then you pop down to Demona and you swing to the board's clear, and then now you're the aggressor and start rushing to 20 lure. They don't have any ways to come back unless they stick 8 cost worth of characters to sing the Under the Sea. So you can just keep removing their characters and keep off the big singers. So keep off the 4-drops, keep off the tramps. And the Spiky Mouse you have to be a little bit careful about because it can be singer 8 by itself. So just save your removal for the big stuff, ignore the little stuff after you've killed the big tramp, and then just race them. Whereas like the Chromacon Dogs deck is very different. I feel like they have a lot more aggressive early lines where they don't have to rely on the big tramp in order to start like kind of keeping your board in check by bouncing your characters. They kind of just have to like play like maybe like 1 drop, below 1 drop, and then they just play like a Chromacon, and they have 3 characters to like your one challenger, and then they quest, and then you hit something, and then they bounce your other thing, and then they're just always going to be ahead on the board. So if without any item removal, that matchup is extremely hard, and they have a lot more gas and like ways to come back even in the mid game with the Lady 5. They can pick up their like their little guys, like their go-go's and their bobbies, and the bobbies will just help filter their hand and like help them progress through the game very smoothly. Whereas the combo deck, if you stop them on turn 4, it's very, very hard for them to come back. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind when you're playing against either of these decks.
So going into the finals, how did you feel? Like, obviously, you've kind of made it to this point, so you've had a very long day. I imagine at that point you're fairly burnt because of how many rounds you've had to go through. It's not necessarily an easy task as Blurple to go up against dogs. Were you feeling confident? Do you feel like you had a game plan going into it? Or did you feel like, oh man, I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to get high rolled because he's going to have it all?
Yeah, I felt confident. Yeah, I felt confident that I was going to lose. But I was pretty much into.
Somebody clip.
I was not disappointed at all. Honestly, like I was very excited for Dylan because I already knew he was going to win, but I was very excited for him. I was ready to send him to Worlds, and I was just going to do what I could. And if I didn't get if he he breaks to like make a chance, but like no, I was pretty confident I was going to lose, and I was very happy for him, of course. And I would some of the things I was looking for in that matchup, specifically against him. I knew that was on the play, so I wanted to obviously try to get as many characters as I can. And after I established my curve, I want to just draw into as many songs as I could. But I think in both games 1 and 2, his Daisy Duck bottom decked my into the no, and I was like, oh no, like that's the one thing I needed to have a chance. But after that happened, then I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna get wrecked. But yeah, I was very happy, very excited, and even in the semifinals, they played against a really good friend of mine as well. And so, I mean, no matter the result, I was gonna be happy. I was like, I'm glad I'm playing against that. I would be happy to lose too. So going into it, I was confident I was gonna lose. Yeah.
Well, and that's something we talked about all throughout the events that happened this weekend. If you look at any of the Top Cut events or any of the finals, there's no animosity. There was no like whoever losing, that person being like, oh, well, actually having any sort of negative reaction. It was all very friendly. It was all very, I mean, just up in high spirits. And that's something that in general, I mean, we just say it over and over again, that the Lorcana community has an edge over every other community. I mean, Tiago, you like me, you came from a Hearthstone community, and I can guarantee you there's not that level of friendship between some of those players. But just as a final wrap up and thought, what was your thoughts overall of Australia? Would you go back? I mean, just from your performances, maybe you would, but from the community standpoint, did you feel that same level of warmth that you might feel like over in the States, or was it just kind of a different level of being accepted or getting involved?
Yeah, for sure. So I think like day 2, every single one of my opponents was like actually like the nicest person in the planet. Like I was just like having a good time, you know, like I didn't feel any stress at all. I didn't feel any pressure from anyone. Like we were just having a fun time. Like nobody was like trying to shark anyone. It was just like absolutely genuinely just people playing the game and enjoying the game the way it's meant to be, you know. And will I go back to Australia? Yes, of course. I actually got there a day earlier than I expected to. I was supposed to book my flight for Thursday, like the rest of the team, but I'm an idiot and booked my flight for Wednesday somehow. And so I went to the zoo by myself, and I went to go see the quokka. And there's just like one quokka there, and I was looking at it for like 3 hours. And I think walking around in the sun, coming from the States where it's really cold here right now, I think like I got like a heat stroke or something, and that's why my voice is just completely gone. Like we had a celebratory dinner after day 2, and it was like the nicest food I've ever probably seen in my whole life. And I was just so sad because like every time I put food in my mouth, my throat would hurt. I was just like, this is actually so sad. But but yes, definitely go to Australia, go to Melbourne. The community there is great.
And same question to Tiago.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's really cool going to these tournaments now because it's like we've gone to almost half a dozen of these DLCs in the Eastern Hemisphere. So it's like a lot of the same squad. A lot of the Australians are like people we've already met at Singapore and Hong Kong and China and whatever. So yeah, it's just always really fun to go to these. It's like in Singapore, that was the first one. Then Jonathan Lamb introduces me to one of his friends, and then I become good friends with that guy and see him in all these tournaments. And then this tournament, he goes and he's playing against Jonathan in the semifinals after they both won a Mickey. Or like I was friends with Dylan, and then I was hanging out with him on Thursday. And then on Sunday after the tournament, everybody like joins together, like my teammates and like Dylan and his crew, and we're like playing poker. And so then they like all meet DKP, who was, you know, like me, introduced my friend to my other friend. And then now today that a bunch of us already flew over, all of them are there for another day. They're like, they met up again and they're spending all day together now. So it's just like really cool. Just meeting everybody and hanging out. And it's really why we all are so lucky to do this. It's just because, yeah, we're just like literally just traveling the world with our friends. It's like so cool. And the event was so good. Like, I think I've never seen an event where the staff and judges and everyone were so on top of everything. Like, it actually just like was really shocking. I don't know if it was like they were just like, because last year like it was like televised that things went bad, or what was the reasoning, but like literally after round 1 they would just be like going to tables and like asking people to like replace their sleeves. Like they're like, oh, there's a sleeve. They're like literally 15 people would like get up and replace them, or like they would like confiscate your decks in between the top cut rounds, which like for some reason not all the DLCs do, and like they like took your decks overnight to deck check them and whatever. It's like everything was like actually like very well done, and like as a player it brings like so much more like confidence into like what's going on in the tournament. And then yeah, the judges were like just super nice as they always are and really friendly, so it was just a really, really great time.
That's amazing. And shout out to the tournament organizer. I think it's TAC Games.
Yep, TAC,
right? TAK. Shout out to the tournament organizers for that event. I'm going to be honest, Logan. I don't know about you, but I have never had worse like FOMO after an event than
absolutely
to all these folks.
Yeah, it was awesome. This one was like even more intimate than some of the other ones around here. I don't know like why, but it was just like the vibe, and it's really different these overseas ones than they are to like NA or EU. Like NA or EU are in their own basket, and these other ones are like all in their own baskets, and I have way more fun at the other ones, that's for sure.
Oh man, that's fun. That's awesome. I don't know. Any like, I don't know. Once again, thank you both for joining us after like either a long day of travel or like mid travel.
Hey guys, I'm Lamb Chops. I'm the host of this channel. We'll be talking about.
Wait, we're gonna do the giveaway, guys. We're spinning the name. Make sure to put your name in the giveaway. You do have to be present when the giveaway goes live. You can't send it out to 1,000 people. You have to be present for the giveaway.
Wow.
If you guys are not here when the giveaway is drawn, unfortunately, we can't give you the prize because otherwise people would just send it out to 1,000 people and then they wouldn't be supporting the show. So make sure you're tuned in.
I think you just gave us the job, right?
Yeah. So,
yeah, you guys got this. I'm out.
Logan, do you have some analysis over the weekend?
The analysis, it was fantastic. It was great to see. It was great to see competitive Lorcana play it again after we had such a dry spell, and then we kind of went over it. But having a weekend filled with so many good tournaments at high level play that we haven't got to see in a minute, I mean, is fantastic. I'm in the same boat as Liam. I have a lot of FOMO. It's making me want to make sure that I don't miss any more of these overseas DLCs. Mainly just so I can go hang out with Tiago, because let's be honest, my day is better when I hang out with you.
Same. But you're dodging me always.
It's not even true. You dodged me last Monday. I was like, hey, you want to talk? And you're like, nah, I'm trying to keep everything close to the chest. I'm like,
yeah. And then I get my deck to the guy who won the tournament. I was right.
Yeah. Oh man. All right. I don't even know what just happened. The stream just melted down.
I'm sorry. I'm disaster every time I'm in front of the camera.
No, man.
I am the problem.
You're not. You're amazing. Both of you are amazing. Thank you both so much for stopping by. You can connect with both of these players on the World Class Cards Discord server. You should go check it out. We'll make sure the link is in the show notes. You can also support World Class Cards and become a member of the team, where you can connect with both these players as well as the rest of the team. Learn from them, get coaching sessions, etc. So it's a great way to connect with these two. Fantastic performance, you two. Thank you so much for stopping by. You are always welcome on the show, and now you both are welcome to host the show anytime. You've had your run.
I'm sorry, we cannot do that. I did it for 20 seconds. I was like, this is way too hard for me. Liam's pretty good at his job or whatever.
Shoot, we're calling you the next time Liam's out. We need a co-host.
It's true. It's absolutely true. Any closing thoughts from either of you before we say goodbye?
Yes, thank you for having us. Always a pleasure. We will be back as soon as you guys have us back. We'll try to continue to do well at these tournaments. And thanks to everybody who supports us. And yeah, take us away, Mr. Chops.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I'm just going to copy Tiago because I copied Tiago into GP for everything. We're going to try to continue to do well at these tournaments. And whenever you want us back, we'll be back. Yeah.
We're going to take you up on that. Thank you both so much. Get some rest, and appreciate you both.
Good night.
Have a good night, gents.
Just wonderful people, right?
Look, I don't think that could have gone any better. Just being so honest, I think that was that's quite possibly the most entertaining thing that we've had happen while I've been here.
I think so too. We got to clip that. I hope that was saved. I'll be honest. Like one of the most panic-inducing things you can happen as a host. There's a lot of panic-inducing things that can happen when you're hosting a stream. One is forgetting that you're sharing your screen and like doing other things, and then we go, oh no. Two is when you're like mid-sentence and you see this stream is reconnecting box pop up, and you're like, oh no. Because you don't know if you like drop the stream for everybody or just you or what's going on. I have no idea how long I was gone for. I was talking to myself, and then all of a sudden, bam, Tiago is like doing the pitch.
Listen, he killed it. He did it so much better than I can.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, I appreciate those two very much, and how both of them view the game, how well they can describe the game to other people, and it's just yeah, a lot of fun. I dropped like 4 times.
Nah, that's entirely too many. I only
Like
know of the one.
Oh god, it might be on Twitter, or on Twitch rather. We better wrap this thing up before my entire stream crashes, Logan.
I think it's a good thing to wrap up. I think we've had a lot of fun guests. We couldn't have had a better moment, clippable moment happen than what happened at the end. We say you do this giveaway and
oh yeah, we have a giveaway, don't we? All right, here's what we're gonna do. Because we had some new people join, and because we had there's an integration issue right now with Twitter and Restream, which means the stream got up there late. I'm gonna post the link one more time. You all have like what? 2 minutes, maybe less. 2 minutes, maybe less. If you're on Twitter, you're probably not seeing it because I can't post it there from Restream. So jump over to another platform, or hold on, maybe I can wait. Hold on, Logan, I'm gonna mute for a second so that I can.
Oh, he's already muted. He's got it. It's fine. We're making it work, ladies and gentlemen.
Whole thing. It's a whole thing. There we go. Twitter's just watch on another. I love you. I love you, Twitter folks. I love you. But the other platforms are easier. So you have
professionals here. We make it work.
We are. So yeah, great stream. So much fun. A lot of great guests, Logan. What are your closing thoughts on the weekend as we give people 2 minutes to enter this giveaway? Only enter once.
I need to start going to these overseas DLCs, man.
Yeah, right.
I need to start clearing my calendar. Like, obviously, Ink is coming this weekend, and I cannot wait. There are going to be so many of my friends there, but man, so many of my friends were in Australia. I told Baker at the beginning of the season that it is my goal to go to at least one overseas DLC, and that is absolutely still my goal. So I'm going to try to make it work. I'm going to do what I can to make sure it works.
Yeah, I agree. There's so many that I want to go. It's just, oh man, I tell you what, time. And I know that's the same for commentators, for players, everybody. It's the time.
It's literally just the time.
Yeah. So, hey, so if anybody's looking to sponsor a commentator,
look, if any vast, wealthy, independently wealthy entrepreneur wants to sponsor the Illumineers, I'll go to everything, dude. Don't play with me.
Hey, yeah, live. I mean, we'll do live production from from Brazil. You just
look, we make it work wherever we're at. Look, how many times have you watched in Illumineers and seen us in the hotel rooms, and we make it work? Now, just imagine us being in the same room with the same level of quality production. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Steve and I have the will. We just need the means.
Live from Brazil. Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're getting entries rolling in here. Before we do this drawing, I'm gonna put it up there. Just actually, but as fun note, Steven already has like I think the 200th episode like marked on the calendar, and fully intends to help us plan like a live show somewhere. I have no clue what that would look like, but it's like a year and a half from now, but it's on the calendar already. Anyway. Okay, so with that, I'm going to get ready to do this giveaway. I will say right up front, thank you all. I'll do the thank yous now. So we do the giveaway and then everybody leaves. But thank you all for watching tonight. We'll be back next Monday night. We have some guests lined up already. I believe we've got the 4th place finisher from Melbourne lined up already, as well as some guests we'll figure out throughout the rest of the week. But you know it's going to be fun. Shout out to everybody watching tonight. Shout out to our Patreon supporters. You can follow on Patreon for free. And shout out to all of you who are currently supporting the show to help pay for the Restream subscriptions and all the other subscriptions that we have to pay for to make this show possible. And also shout out to a couple folks who subscribed on Twitter tonight. I appreciate you all so much. Princess Natkins, CM, Color is Law, and Heather for resubscribing. So there we go.
And
all
just
right.
as a reminder, we will do live shows. We are not confined by these four walls. If that's something you want to see, let us know. We'll make it happen.
We will. We have to explore that space. I don't know what that would. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know what it would entail, but we could make it work. We have friends in high places that have tons of production value, and we have production knowledge ourselves. We could make it work.
I've got friends in high places. All right. I'm about to sort this column, and then you all are out of luck. Sort column A to Z. I got to sort this, so I look for any double. All right, they're searching for doubles.
Technically, this is a live show. You're correct, but imagine us in person.
That's true. Searching for doubles. All right, I think we're good. We're gonna cap the entries now. 128 entries.
Wow.
Yeah. Folks came out for the playmat.
Look, I say playmat is fantastic. If you haven't seen it in person, it's amazing. I'm immediately jealous of whoever wins this thing.
Yeah. Paul, 100 plus people watching, only 17 likes. Yeah, those are our 17 favorite people. You know who you are. But no. So playmat's awesome. The playmat was because I don't know, I thought it would be fun, and I got it in a trade, and we hit 7,000 subscribers on YouTube, so that's kind of fun.
Which is fantastic. Thank you all.
That's not the right one. Hold on.
We're seeing.
All right, so here's what we do. I've dragged all like the doxy information over to the right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run a random number generator from 2 through 129, and so that lines up with the row. They have row 1 is the header, row whatever, and so I make this as transparent as possible. I've sorted this from A to Z so I can look for double entries, because that's how we do. And so I'm going to run this thing. I'm going to hit random number generate 3 times on my phone here, and whoever comes up will be the winner. So 1, 2. Wait, hold on.
Camera transparency.
I hit it twice. Yeah, I don't know why I'm so worried about transparency, but I want to make sure that people know that everything's on the up and up here. So I've hit it twice. I'm gonna hit it a third time now. Wow, 4.
4.
I've
never seen a single digit number for any of our giveaways.
Yeah, it was 71, and then it went 4. So and this is sorted by alphabetical order. So all disease. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Brittany on YouTube. Brittany at Brittany Apobangpo.
At Brittany.
Wait, I'm sorry. Oh no, that was wrong.
No, wait.
It's the row. Okay, now I've got to send 2. But no, I'm sorry, Brittany. That was Brian, because it's row 4. Oh goodness, now I feel terrible. I was looking at there's Brian there.
Scroll up one more time, just so
4.
there's the.
Yeah. Anyway, Lord, I see through this. I'm sorry. It's better now. It's better now.
How do we say is at? That's difficult.
Yeah.
Brian.
Brittany, I feel bad I called out your name. Send me a note if you're here, and I will do something for you. But because I read the row wrong.
We will compensate you. Maybe not.
You know what I did?
But
you know what I did? I'm so sorry. What I did was because the numbers are single digits, I went to the 4th name down. But we have to. I offset the rows to make it easy, because if you're way down here, you can't visually see who 71 is. So I always do a random number 2 through whatever to offset the first row. So that's what I get. So yeah, it's the Oscars all over again. I know, but they gotta be here. So
we do have the caveat that you have to be here. So Brian.
Yeah.
Is that Shipos? Brian Shipos? Is that how you say that?
Brian Shipos on YouTube.
Shipos 3985.
Yeah, I don't know. Brian
Bueller.
Yeah. You do it. It's Fairy Queen. I have to sort it in ABC order, so I make sure that I sort of any double, because it happens. People enter twice because they're not sure if it went through. The other funny thing, actually, when you look at the alphabetical order, is all of the ats.
Oh, there's Brian.
Brittany,
And
send
Brittany
me a
is
note.
also here.
Yeah, Brittany's here too, and I feel bad. Brittany, send me a note. Like, I'm gonna send you something. I only have the one playmat, but like, it must feel awful to hear a name called out and be like, "Yay!" and then be like, "Oh." So like, send me a note.
We'll make it right.
Yeah, we'll do something. Because I feel terrible about psyching you out. And then Brian is here.
Brian is here.
So there we go. Brian, send me a note. I've got your email, so I'll reach out to you. And we'll do that. So anyway, yeah. All right. I think that was it. Thank you all for watching.
I think we've had a successful Monday.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Logan, any closing thoughts before we hit the outro?
Winterspell is here. Winterspell is an awesome format. I mean, like I said at the top of the show, when you have R&B himself telling you that this is the healthiest the game has felt in 2 sets, that's when you know it's a good time to jump in. If you're not playing Winterspell, you should be. If you're not going to an event soon, absolutely do that. And I will be back in full tournament mode starting this weekend. So come to anything I'm going to and come say hi. Can't wait to see all of you guys again.
I can't wait to see all of you guys again too. We'll see you back next Monday on Let's Talk Lorcana. Peace.